Hey everyone, welcome to the Spinnaker Healthcare Solutions YouTube channel, where our goal is to help program coordinators better utilize, understand, and analyze their program's data. I'm Dale Strong, and today our video is going to be focusing on learning how to format cells based on your process metrics. If you have any questions or concerns about the video, or have any other ideas for further videos, feel free to scan the QR code on your screen right now. That has all our contact info. And if you appreciate these videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get access to kind of all our video content. So we're going to go ahead and get started by pulling up our patient template, or our template for the patient log that we've been using for most of our videos here. We have already gone ahead and taken our data set and formatted it as a table. If you don't know how to do that, there's another video on our YouTube channel that kind of walks you through step-by-step how to do that. It's real quick, but like I said, I like to start all my projects kind of by doing that. It helps with keeping things consistent, especially as you add or remove patients in your data set. So as we see, we have a fair amount of metrics here, and we know within kind of any kind of health program, whether it be stroke or cardiac or anything like that, where it's a process driven program, you know that for each step, there's different time goals associated with kind of how quickly a program should be progressing a patient through the workflow. And with that, they have associated time goals. And sometimes it's really nice to be able to quickly format cells based on those time goals. So for example, if we look at column F here, we have our door to CT scan, and it's pretty well established that kind of 20 minutes is that goal for that process step. So what we can do here is we can add a conditional formatting in Excel that we establish a rule, and if it follows that rules, it will output a certain format to these cells. So what we're going to go ahead and get started with is selecting the the column data that you're interested in. So our door to CT scan times. We're then going to go make sure you're at the Home tab up here, and on the ribbon you'll see this button for conditional formatting. So if we click on it, we are going to establish a new rule. Now there's already a bunch of pre-programmed things where you can kind of do if greater than, equal than. I always like to start with a new rule because it allows me to have more options. So I hit new rule. Now, what we're trying to do here is it gives you different types of rules that you can do. So you can do it if, cells contain certain values. You can also do based on their values. So you could do a 2 color scale where it will find like your lowest value, for example, and your highest value, and it will shade the colors accordingly. But what I'm really focused on is we're going to go ahead and hit the format only cells that contain, because we're going to do a singular rule based on that door to CT scan of 20 minutes. So we are going to do cell value. You could do specific, all these different kind of things here, but we're going to focus on cell value because it's a process metric and that gives you a value, right? So we are going to then go to greater than. Now, since the time standard is 20 minutes, we are going to put in 20 here. And then this is the preview of this rule. So right now we don't have any format set, but all you have to do here is hit the button, and you have the option to format, the border, the font, the number, etc., how you'd like it done. So normally with these rules for basic kind of visuals, you're going to kind of establish a color scheme. So it's pretty common to have a red because we're doing any cell value that's greater than 20 minutes, which means it would be like a fallout or a delayed case. Now, let's say that red's kind of really harsh. We want to go here and you kind of toggle over to maybe a little slighter, less bright red. We can hit OK there and it changes it. You could also change your borders or your font. You could do strike throughs, etc. It's kind of all you could italicize it, for example, things like that. But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to just format these red. That's pretty commonly that you would see that, out there. So we're going to hit OK. And then now you see a preview, and we're going to hit OK again. And now it has automatically gone through and it has highlighted any case that has a door to CT scan greater than 20 minutes with that red. Now this was all dummy, pre-populated data, so this is not a good looking data set, as that we have a lot of times over a door to CT scan of 20 minutes, but I'm sure if you apply this same kind of rule and principle to your data set, it would be more beneficial. One thing that I would point out is if you establish rules, because you could do the same thing for cases that were quicker than 20 minutes, you could highlight them green. I just personally prefer to use really specific rules and try to avoid having kind of like a Christmas tree of just constant red and green cells. I'd like to really only apply rules when I really want to highlight something. So I don't want every single cell value to be a color. But just kind of think about that. The nice thing about Excel is you can, by doing all these, you can kind of see here, so you can manage the rules, and it will see that it shows the cells that you've done this. And if you don't want to do it, you can always delete it, or you can edit it, or you can just build a new rule. You can do multiple rules within the Excel sheet. There's really no limit there. So this is a good way to get started. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe, or feel free to scan our QR code and reach out to us.